Hey guys, just wanted to show off my copy of Peter Howe's new book, The Game Changer. It's a great and thoughtful read with a resonating lyrical style of poetry that features verses such as, "Remember we are human first, and stop obsessing over flags, before all those expensive weapons leave us all in rags. If there is no change, our children will be the victims of theft, because war doesn't decide who's right, only who is left." Check the description for links to get your own copy at either Amazon or CreateSpace. Coctopus Prime with the Cooter Report for the Skeptic Fence Show.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bag me some horn cookers tonight.
Let's see who we got this week.
You know, whether or not Planned Parenthood broke the law, when Congress sets budgeting priorities, we have to decide what's important and what isn't, and which has a higher priority and should be funded, and which has a lower priority and should not be funded in the age of a $19 trillion deficit.
You would think that this congressman who is explaining how Congress works to this woman would know the difference between the deficit and the fucking debt. But of course not. Of course not. And I'm sure he gets much more intelligent as this goes on.
Right.
Now, could you please tell us why Planned Parenthood needs to get over $500 million of federal funding every year when there are other pressing needs such as feeding hungry children that maybe we should put that money into?
So let me get this straight. You don't know the difference between the debt and the deficit, and yet you prioritize where the money goes. And you are basically saying, if we didn't fund Planned Parenthood with $500 million a year, all right, and Planned Parenthood covers so many different things. It's called Planned Parenthood because they help parents plan. It's not just abortions, you dipshit. They offer all kinds of different health services. But no, he says, oh, we have to prioritize, and we could feed hungry kids if we didn't fund Planned Parenthood. Wait. Is that the same prioritizing that allows our bloated-ass military budget? Is that the same kind of prioritizing that you're doing here? Because there's a lot of fucking hungry kids, and we spend a ridiculous amount on our military, on failed programs constantly. How about the subsidies we give to fucking oil companies who make record profits, and yet we give them subsidies? Not just don't tax them, give them money. And then what about like corporations that don't get taxed at all or get taxed almost nothing because of all these loopholes they get to go through? Where's the priorities there for feeding these fucking hungry kids? Because this guy, if he got that money, that $500 million, he would go spend it on feeding hungry kids, right? What a load of fucking bullshit.
Let's be clear that Planned Parenthood is not getting any federal funding for abortions.
Well, money is fungible, Ms. Smith. You and I know that money is fungible.
I don't believe that's
so. The question is, whether Congress should appropriate another $500 million plus to Planned Parenthood when we could be spending that money on feeding hungry children. This is a question of priorities. I'd like to know what your priority is, Planned Parenthood or feeding hungry children.
And what are your priorities, douchebag? You're the one that is in charge of appropriating this money, right? And yet your priorities have not been feeding fucking hungry children. It's not like you're fighting to raise the taxes on the rich and lower the fucking budget for the military in order to feed hungry kids, right? All of a sudden that argument just made sense to you when it's taking away $500 million a year for Planned Parenthood, which does awesome things for a lot of people. And sure, yeah, they do abortion too. And if that's your huge problem with it, they don't use any of the federal funding for the abortions.
My priority, I think funding Planned Parenthood and the services it provides is equal to feeding children, because what Planned Parenthood does is preserve women's lives that are the mothers of those children. It provides contraception
How can
to
they
women.
be the mothers of the children when children are aborted through Planned Parenthood?
Do you not know what fucking Planned Parenthood does? It's not just like an abortion center, you fucking retard. You have no clue about what you were talking about. No clue. And when someone tries to explain it to you, You're too fucking stupid to stay quiet and have them explain it to you so you don't sound so pig fucking ignorant, dipshit.
Because many women go to Planned Parenthood who have children and have families. In fact, even women who are obtaining abortions, 60% of women obtaining abortions in this country already have at least one, if not more children. So women
Well, I guess
often
your
mothers
priorities
get
are
abortion.
different than mine.
My priorities are funding Planned Parenthood's excellent, high-quality, comprehensive health care services that go to low-income women throughout this country, women who otherwise would become pregnant unintendedly and who would then need abortions. So I would think, as somebody who opposes abortion, you would in fact support, as does Judge Kavanaugh of the D.C. Circuit, the funding of contraceptive services to reduce unintended pregnancies and to reduce the number of abortions. It's really a no-brainer. It makes no sense not to fund those services if you want to reduce the number of abortions.
And can you guess what his awesome response to that will be? Do you think he learned anything there? Do you think?
Well, I don't think there's statistics that indicate that that's the case.
There
I'm way
absolutely
out
are.
of time, so I'll yield back.
And it's for thinking he knows best when he is obviously the least informed fucking person in the room that Jim Sensenbrenner wins the Cooter Award for being the dumbest horn kicker I could find this week. Until next time,